Hi everyone out there. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Neon Skyline shawl today. Now, I'm going to have most of this on the table, showing you the details of the shawl and showing you different color combinations. But just thought I would very quickly show it to you in person and just give you an idea of the size. It's a pretty big shawl and the shape is actually great to wrap around yourself. So come on and take a look with me. Let's take a little overview of this shawl and give you an idea of how it fits together and what kind of color combinations work and why I chose the colors I did. So to begin with, I'll just talk about colors. You can see here you've got this, or the original is done in this bright neon orange, and the other color used is a darker navy, which is my newest sport yarn. Now the bright one is the Townhouse Yarns Fade Street 4-ply, which is a single ply twist merino yarn, and it is a little lighter weight than the sport, than the newest sport. But because of the way the two combine and because you've got the whole thing biasing, it actually works really well and you don't have a problem of different gauge, which is great. Now, when you're looking for colors, what I was looking for with this is a nice bright color pop for the Fade Street 4-ply. And because this one, there was the original, you could see this other colors popped through, it actually gives you colors that you can pick up. So I picked up that navy to use as the main color. When I was going and putting other color combinations together, we would do the same thing, because this one is nice and bright. This is Burren and it's nice and bright and it's got lots of different colors going on, and I went ahead and picked that blue to pop together with it. You could also possibly have done the pinks, but when I put the various ones together, the blue just really seemed to kind of sing, if you know what I mean, when I put it together. And with the same thing with this color here, this is a lighter one, so it's going to give a slightly different effect from this, but it's got all of these little different speckles of colors going through. And the one I opted for with this darker pink here, which I think just works really, really nicely with the Cafe Flamingo. So this one is called Cupcake. So they are a couple of the color options that I've put up together on the website. And so when you see them together like this, you get a feel for why I made the different color choices and how you can kind of decide to put them together and the different color play. So now let's take a look at the shawl. It starts way down here on the tip, just a couple of stitches. And it is actually using a biased effect, but instead of having your bias tilting off to one side, you're actually creating it so that it's creating the slope. You see these angles that happen here? That all happens because of increases and decreases. So on each side going out here, on both the right side and the wrong side, you've got increases along the edge here. And the reason it looks closed is because even though you're doing it as a yarn over, on the next row, you're knitting those into the back loop. So that's twisting that yarn over closed. But at the same time, you've also got this central double decrease. So that's a very obvious vertical line going through the whole thing. So that when you've got a decrease, it pushes those stitches down and the increases push the stitches up. So every 2 rows, you have got 2 decreases, but 4 increases because of the fact that the increases are on the right side and the wrong side. So you are still growing out a little bit, but not as quickly as if you didn't have the decreases, but that creates that wonderful V line. So all of these shapes happen because of your decreases and your increases, which actually shape it. And that means that, like the simplest of stitch patterns that you can put in, even stripes or just color blocks, all look totally different and really, really interesting, simply because you've got all of this movement in the fabric itself. So first of all, you start off with the solid block, and then you're moving on to your mosaic stitch pattern. And with that, it looks more complex than it is, because that's why I like mosaic stitch patterns so much. It's another word for a type of slip stitch color work. So you start off with one solid color, and then you're working through a series of rows where there's 2 rows in one color where you're slipping this other color. Because let me bring this up to the camera here. when you're working your darker color, you slip this stitch and you can see how it pulls up over the other one, and that comes across here, and you do the very same on the wrong side row. And then when you come up here, you're working this color, but you're slipping the other one. So it means that you end up with a fairly intricate looking little design, but it's not very difficult to work because only one color is ever worked in a row. So you've got that pattern here, then you come up to stripes, then you've got the two combined together where you again have this little mosaic stitch pattern, some stripe work, and let me keep going up along here. So that keeps going all the way up to this point here. See, this is, I'll start up here, down to over here, and the same over on the other side. That big V is all one row of knitting, but it's not straight because of all of those chevrons you've created with your decreases and your increases. So then you're finishing off with this block of knitting in here, and that is all filled in by continuing on with this decrease in the middle, but what you're adding in this time is a decrease along here and a decrease along there. So it comes in further and further and further, so you actually end right in along here. So all of these really interesting shapes and color interchange are completely created by increases and decreases. So if you can do increases and decreases, and if you can slip stitches, you can actually do this shawl. So I feel like this is one of those shawls that creates a lot of impact with no really difficult stitch patterns, and it allows you to play with some colors in fun ways and even change the stripes and all the interactions between those yourself. So please do come on in and join me and get yourself the Neon Skyline shawl pattern and grab one of my new color kits that are in the shop so that you can knit with others. So have fun, enjoy your chevrons.